Okay, we're back. Let's start the next case. It's almost 4 a.m., so I'm trying to be a little quiet here. Gut out. Matthew, it turns out the late Dr. Aculus was right to be worried. The malevolent force sucking the life from livestock is real, apparently. Apparently animals have been mysteriously dropping dead for 5 years in the Southwest. Thing is, the force does no physical harm to them. They just die, and their bodies have sulfur residue on them. Yo, I gotta clue you guys in on those animal deaths Hope told us about here in New Mexico. I've got bad news and good news. The bad news is that the livestock deaths happening in this part of New Mexico have nothing to do with the malevolent sulfuric evil. But the good news is that I know what is killing the animals in this area. It's a chupacabra. Did you say chupacabra? That's your good news? Yes, it's a local legendary creature. The Spanish word chupacabra means goat sucker, because they go around sucking on goat blood. But that isn't the half of it. Chupacabras have crazy sharp teeth, and they rip their victims' guts out. Not just goats, but humans too. I can't believe they're real. My abuela used to tell stories about seeing them, but us kids always thought she was crazy. Was your grandma from around here? Yeah, my family lived in New Mexico until I was 7, before social services put me in foster care. Anyway, if there's a chupacabra on the loose, we better look into these attacks before things get really out of hand. The most recent attack happened near Taos Pueblo. That's where you should start. Maybe someone there saw something. After years of hearing stories about chupacabras, I've got to see one of these things for myself. Let's go, Matthew. I think what I'll do is just at least do this and then go to bed and then resume this in the morning because I'm too tired. Plus I had a bit of a stomach ache earlier, so I didn't get started. Matthew, we came to contain a chupacabra, but it looks like we're too late. There's a dead guy over there. Look, the victim's guts are spilling out, just like Felix said. The wound has little jagged tears around it, like it was done with super sharp teeth. Definitely a chupacabra attack. Alright, Matthew, we have a human casualty on our hands. We better track this beast before it strikes again. But where to start? You found a note next to the victim with a drawing of a chupacabra? The note says, Paul, I'll let this thing loose on you. This Paul must be our victim. Paul Etter. But what did the author mean by unleash? Sounds like the chupacabra wasn't a predator, but a murder weapon. Matthew, I've only just learned that chupacabras are real. Now it turns out they can be used for murder? You're right. We better collect that substance from the note if we want answers. Oh, dear Lord. What kind of rabid animal did this? Hello. Who might you be? I'm Malcolm Drummond, organizer for an artist retreat starting tomorrow. Artists are arriving from all around to participate. But now our most famous instructor, Paul Etter, is dead. This could ruin everything. Calm down, sir. We're private detectives, and we can deal with this unfortunate death if you allow us. We'll just need to ask you a few questions in a minute. Sound good? Yes, please. By all means, investigate. Matthew, where should we start? This Drummond guy mentioned an art retreat that the victim was involved in, and there's a welcome tote bag here. We better look inside and question Drummond, too. Matthew, let's keep our wits about us. There's a chupacabra on the loose and a killer who unleashed it. We gotta find them both. Okay. I do need to get some stars, but I'll do that in the morning. Well, actually, after I get some sleep. So I'll pause here. Well, I got 14 stars, but unfortunately I had sped up the autopsy unintentionally. But that's okay, I'll roll with the punches. Got it. Looks like you found a hair ribbon in the Artist Retreat's goodie bag. Matthew, you're right. That loony vampire Bathsheba wears a ribbon exactly like this one. But what the heck is Bathsheba doing here in Taos Pueblo, New Mexico? Just what we needed. An insane vampire mixed up in a chupacabra murder. Alright, let's find Bathsheba. She's probably hiding in some basement nearby. Bathsheba, you're a long way from home. What brings you to New Mexico? Matthew, oh, how exciting to see you. Did you follow me here? Are we playing hide and seek? No games, Bathsheba. A man was killed by a chupacabra this morning. Do you know about one being in the area? Yes, I saw one earlier and tried to pet it, but it was shy and ran away. It's too bad because I love chupacabras. They're adorable, like furry, spiky vampire doggies. I still miss Biggie Footy. Since he died, I haven't had a fuzzy friend to play with, but a chupacabra could be nice. Sure. But if you see the chupacabra again, you tell us, okay? It's very important. Gotcha. Last one to see a chupacabra is a rotten egg. Matthew, you know just from seeing the victim that chupacabras are not cute doggies. They're dangerous blood-sucking creatures. If Bathsheba's involved, she'll get what she deserves. Got it. Matthew, that substance from the killer's note might tell us who set the chupacabra loose on our... get it to the lab. And I guess I'll go ahead and get the autopsy results since I accidentally sped it up. Hey Ben, looks like the Chupacabra made your job easier. The victim's body was already cut open. Yeah, it's remarkable. First time I get to examine someone mauled by a Chupacabra. I'd only read about it in supernatural anatomy books before. But I noticed something the books don't mention. The victim's vocal cords were also ripped out. It's as if the beast tried to make sure Eder couldn't cry for help. But usually a Chupacabra wouldn't care about that. Well, Matthew, we know the Chupacabra was purposefully sicked on the victim. Could that explain this strange behavior? It could. The killer could have trained the Chupacabra to go for the victim's vocal cords. Did you say trained? You can train a Chupacabra? I know it sounds crazy, but it's not the first time. I read online about a dude in Mexico years ago who domesticated one like a guard Chupacabra. But how do you domesticate a Chupacabra? Well, you can't train them like you train a dog. They are wild and violent creatures, but interestingly, specific sounds in the Spanish language have a soothing effect on them. It's possible to teach them a few simple commands in Spanish, which means your killer speaks Spanish to train theirs. Orale, Matthew. Orale. Matthew, keep your ears open for a Spanish-speaking murderer. Matthew, artists have started arriving for the retreat, and they paid a fortune to attend. I can't have this grisly death overshadow their stay. Actually, it's more problematic than that. We have evidence that Mr. Eder's death was a murder. Do you know who might have wanted to hurt him? Not that I know of. He was a huge name in the art world, but no enemies per se. Paul lives near here, which is how I convinced him to teach in our retreat. He is one of the reasons for our success. I'll show you where his studio was to help get your investigation wrapped up ASAP. Got it. And I got the first star. So Matthew, our victim was a famous artist, and this was his studio. What can we learn about him from before he became Chupacabra food? This broken locket was probably the victim's. Putting it back together might give us a lead. And you found the victim's box of supplies. Let's see what's inside. Moment, folks. Post this real quick. Oh, never mind. My parents got the phone. Got it. Might be his wife. Matthew, this is Mr. Etter in the locket photo, and he's with a woman. You're right. There's engraved text scratched away on the other side of the locket. That could tell us who she is. Paul and Susan. Got it. Matthew, the text on the victim's locket says Paul and Susan. Ah, it says here Paul Etter has a sister named Susan Etter. That's her in the photo. Susan runs a goat ranch in Taos Pueblo. I wonder if she's had trouble with chupacabras attacking her animals. In any case, we know one attacked her brother, so let's see what Miss Etter can tell us. Are you the investigators finally looking into the livestock massacres I've been reporting for ages? No, ma'am. We're actually... Something's been after my animals, and I heard it might be chupacabras. I had to throw out a whole load of alfalfa feed because it was soaked with blood. My animals are being annihilated, but nobody believes me. Ma'am, we're not here for that. Unfortunately, whatever's been slaughtering your animals killed your brother Paul this morning. What? He fell prey to the chupacabra too? Well, actually, we were going to ask you if you can tell us about this chupacabra and where we might find it. If I knew where to find it, I'd have killed it already. I was worried about my goats, but now the chupacabra is coming for us? Coming for us. Got it. Matthew, what's in the victim's box of art supplies? There's a palette knife with the name Axel Bross. This Bross guy could be another artist. Let's ask him about the victim. Mr. Bross, you're here for the artist retreat? Yes, I've come every year since I finished art school. Talking shop with other artists helps keep my skills fresh. I came to study under Paul Etter, but Mr. Drummond told me he's dead. Devastating news, and it's only a matter of time before the art world feels the shockwave of his loss. He was a visionary. This compels me to do a painting dedicated to Mr. Etter. I'm imagining him lying dead on the ground with desert beasts feasting on his body. Creation is destruction, and this painting will depict a creator in the process of being destroyed. That's an unusual motivation. Some people think I'm too dark, but Mr. Etter always encouraged my instincts. Anyway, I've got to go get started on that new piece. Well, that guy's got some intense ideas. We'll have to keep an eye on him to make sure he's not up to anything funny. And I'll see you guys when this is done in under 3 hours. See y'all soon. Well, after unintentionally speeding up the autopsy, let's get the results of the brown substance. Priya, I don't know about you, but this murder by chupacabra is one of the strangest cases I've seen. I didn't even know they existed outside my abuela's imagination until today. Yeah, it's our job to believe the unbelievable, but that doesn't mean what we discover won't be surprising. I will say, though, the sample you brought me falls into the believable category. It's a dessert called cajeta, caramelized goat's milk. I used to love cajeta when I was a kid. I always put it on churros. That sounds delicious, and your killer would probably agree, since we're sure they eat cajeta. Or cajeta. Matthew, I bet the killer didn't count on their sweet tooth getting them busted. So, Matthew, we came to New Mexico to investigate a malicious entity killing livestock and leaving their bodies smelling of sulfur. But here in Taos Pueblo, there's a whole different problem. We actually found a man who had his guts ripped out by a chupacabra. The victim's sister was a local farmer who'd been complaining about the chupacabra attacks for a while, but sadly nobody believed her. Here's where it gets weird. Someone actually instructed the chupacabra to kill the victim. Apparently, chupacabras are receptive to Spanish. I don't know how your Spanish is, Matthew, but if we run into trouble, I'll do my best to keep us safe. We know the victim was a famous artist, and the main attraction of the Taos Pueblo Artists Retreat. The retreat organizer showed us the victim's studio, and we met one of Eder's students, who seemed weirdly inspired to paint a grim image of the victim. And speaking of weird, we ran into Bathsheba. She says she wanted the chupacabra to be her fuzzy friend. If anyone's demented enough to befriend and train one of those things, it's Bathsheba. Matthew, I've got great news. I think I found one of your killer's hangouts. And I'll see you guys for Chapter 2. Do not go anywhere. Okay, we're back. Let's start Chapter 2 of Gut Out. And, we last left off with Ben telling us some news. I was making a food run for the team at a restaurant that's pretty popular with the locals. And when I ordered, I noticed they've got cajeta on their dessert menu. Good call. We know our killer eats cajeta. What's more, Ben picked up some of said cajeta, and it's from the exact same batch as the cajeta you found on the killer's threat. Which proves that the killer ate at that restaurant recently. Matthew, let's go search the restaurant. There we are. Oh boy, am I gonna get the first star? Yep. So Matthew, we know this is where Paul Eder's killer recently ate cajeta. Let's hope they left some clues for us to find. Huh, this menu's in pieces. Let's put it back together. And if the killer ate here, they might have left a clue in the trash. Let's check it out. A dog toy. Matthew, someone threw a dog toy in the trash. There's a massive bite out of it, but this is super hard rubber. A dog would have to have jaws of steel to... Oh man, Matthew, this bite has to be from a chupacabra. These teeth marks look just like the ones on Mr. Etter's stomach. This toy might belong to the killer. Let's get it to Priya for examination. Got it. Cool, you got the menu back together. Hey, there's a note on it. It says, Paul, try the mole, Carmen. Paul could mean our victim, and Carmen must work here, so she maybe knew him. Let's see what Carmen can tell us. Carmen Garcia, okay. Buenos dias. Welcome to Tacos Pueblo. Table for two? No, actually, we had some questions about the artist Paul Etter. We understand you knew him. Yes, very nice, senor. He comes for lunch every day. He should be in soon. It's getting late. I'm sorry to say Paul won't be coming. He was murdered this morning. We are searching for the killer. Paul murdered? Dios mío. I just made enchiladas with fresh cheese from my goats for him. Now he'll never get to try them. You keep goats? Have you had problems with them being attacked by an animal? Oh no, I am very lucky. All of the other farms nearby have had attacks, so I keep my goats inside the barn when I am not there to watch them. They are frustrated with me for that, but they are safe. Excuse me, I have other tables to tend to, but if you are hungry, you are welcome back at any time. And I'll see you guys when the dog toy is done. I'll see y'all soon. We have returned. Let's get the results of the dog toy from Priya. Matthew, the bite marks on that chew toy are definitely from a chupacabra. I thought we werewolves had strong jaws, but I don't think I could do this kind of damage. Matthew, this is further proof that our killer chupacabra had a master. Even though they try to hide their diabolical pet's toy in the trash. What else did you discover? Well, I found spots of turpentine soaked into the rubber. Of course, we know chupacabras drink blood, not turpentine, so it's clear those spots got there from the killer handling the toy. Well, Matthew, now we know our killer uses turpentine. How about we look for more clues in Paul's studio? Let's go. Yeah, I know where it is. Got it. And I got the first star. Whoa, Matthew, whatever is in that jar, it's repulsive. Are those guts? They definitely aren't the victim's guts, since we found them with his body. But that's a small consolation. There's a faded label with the victim's name. We should see what else it says. And good call. We should listen to the messages on the victim's answering machine. Can you crack the passcode? Sweet! The victim's answering machine is unlocked. Now let's see what Hope can find recorded on it. $12 hours. Excuse me. Matthew, the label on that jar of guts says, Paul, why don't you paint with your guts? So we know Paul didn't just have a jar of guts. This was given to him by someone. Let's see if we can identify them from the signature on the label. Just a moment, folks. Bathsheba, I think. Nope, Axel. The signature on the jar of guts perfectly matches signatures on paintings by Axel Bross. Doesn't look like they got along super well. If Axel gave a jar of guts to Paul with this nasty message, we've got to talk to Axel about this. So what's up with this jar of guts you gave to Mr. Eder? Just a little ball busting between artists. Gotta keep each other on our toes, know what I mean? We don't. How about you explain it to us? Look, I came to Taos Pueblo for two things. The amazing New Mexican food, especially sweets like cajeta. Ay, es tan sabrosa. It's so tasty. And the top-notch instruction from Paul Eder. So what happened to make things between you go sour? I told him my new series of paintings would focus on the legends of chupacabras and the fear and danger surrounding them. But Mr. Eder told me if I focused on mythical creatures, I'd be worthless as an artist. He told me to paint what was real and what was in my guts. So I showed him my guts. I got some goat guts from a butcher and floated those suckers in a jar of turpentine. That old blowhard was a genius with paint, but that doesn't mean he knew everything about art and expression. Wow. I'll let the message run its course. See you when that's done. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the answering machine from Hope. Oh, Matthew, I'm glad to see you so I can finally talk work. Gwen's preparing for her date with Justine tonight, but she freaked out because she's getting sick and might have to cancel. She went on and on about it, but I can't sympathize. I've actually never been sick in my life. So now she's in Ben's trailer getting medicine or something. Roommate adventures. Well, let's talk work. Was there anything interesting on Mr. Eder's answering machine? Yeah, but it took some digging to find it. He had 50 voice messages from his students in the past 3 days. People asking which brushes to bring, asking if he'll focus on landscapes or portraits this year. But there's one recording near the end of the tape that you should hear. Paul, it's Malcolm. I still don't have a replacement for the sculpting instructor, and sculpture classes are supposed to start tomorrow. So break all your brushes and pick up some clay, because you're a sculptor now. If you refuse, I'll have your head on a platter. Stressful times in the art world, but that still doesn't call for violent threats. Let's ask Malcolm about this. Let's see what Malcolm Drummond has to say now. Mr. Drummond, you threatened Paul over sculpting classes? You misunderstand the severity of the situation. I was getting everything together and our new sculpting instructor bailed. I didn't have a replacement, so I told Paul to do it. He is so beloved in the art world that the sculpting students wouldn't even care he was a painter and not a sculptor. It's all art anyway, right? I mean, I've seen artists work. I know the drill. I've used paint and turpentine. How is sculpting clay any different? Are you always this quick to threaten murder when things don't go your way? Only when necessary. Paul is an artist, and all artists are difficult. Organizing this retreat is like herding cats, and Paul was the worst. When I saw him later, I was so mad I started shouting in Spanish. I almost threw my cajeta in his face. Mr. Drummond, if the police find out you killed him, you'll have bigger problems than being short 2 art instructors. Well, Matthew, we've got a few leads on who might have sicked that chupacabra on Paul Etter. Axel sent Paul a jar of actual guts to show his anger about being criticized. Do you think Axel got the guts from a butcher like he said? Or do you think he's got a pet chupacabra that got them for him? And how about Malcolm, who threatened Paul to get him to replace the sculpting instructor and freaked out when Paul refused? Then there's Carmen, the server. Matthew, do you hear that? It's growling. Oh boy. Matthew, is that what I think it is? Buen perrito. Good doggy. Cute doggy. Eres un lindo perrito. Matthew, I don't think speaking Spanish to it is working. Ah! Oh my God. We'll get to chapter 3 in just a minute. Okay, we've returned. Let's start chapter 3 of Gut Out. We last left off with the chupacabra attacking Luke. Matthew, I think I killed it. Whoa, that was close. Oh man, I need a second to breathe. You're right, we better make sure the chupacabra is really dead. And while we're at it, we'll look for some more clues. Alright, Matthew, there's no question. That chupacabra is dead. Let's send it to Ben, but be careful around its teeth and claws. Now, is there other stuff that could be helpful? This tube has Paul's name on it. Looks like he used it to carry canvases. It's locked. We should see what's inside. And since it's at the crime scene, this must be the victim's palette. Someone tried to break it. And what's this grassy stuff they got on it? Let's examine it. I'm still reeling from the attack, but we've got to get back to work. Nine hours. Looks like we're going back to the regular. So that is good news. Thought it was going to be another 12 like it was in the past. Great, you got the victim's painting tube open. There's a painting in there. Whoa, it's a painting of Carmen from the restaurant, but the nose is super weird, and the eyes are all over the place. Do you think Carmen was flattered or angered by this portrait? Let's go ask her. Miss Garcia, you didn't mention that Paul painted your portrait because the painting is awful. It doesn't look like me. Que fealdad, so ugly. When Paul showed it to me, I wanted it destroyed, but he said he was proud of it and would show it in galleries. Oh, I wanted to kill him. Well, not kill, bad choice of words. I would never kill anyone. But I believed he was my friend. And this is not what friends do. He turned me into a monster. Let's hope your anger didn't make you do monstrous things, Carmen. Let's get this grassy stuff you collected from the victim's palette under the microscope to find out who damaged it. Alfalfa. Matthew, the grass on the victim's pallet is alfalfa hay. We know both Carmen and Susan have goats, but only Susan mentioned giving hers alfalfa. But why would Susan break her brother's pallet? Let's ask her. So that'll put me at level 489. Only 11 more until I rank up. It's taken me quite a while, but hey, I did it. Miss Eder, why did you break your brother's pallet? I wanted to break something that made him happy, because he was destroying something that made me happy. My farm is failing. I told you before, my animals are being attacked by chupacabras. I just know it. But how is that your brother's fault? When I told Paul about the attacks and asked him to help, he rolled his eyes and told me chupacabras aren't real. Said my farm was failing because of me. But it's not my fault. It's that monster, Que Pesadilla. It's an absolute nightmare. I don't have much money, so I offered Paul turpentine from my farm supplies in return for his help. Or I'd make him some cajetas from what little goat milk I have, but he refused to help. Susan, if you're Paul's killer, you'll lose more than your farm. I'll see you guys when the dead chupacabra analysis has run its course. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the dead chupacabra. Whoa, Matthew, you survived a chupacabra attack. Shows you've got good reflexes. Yeah, that's not what I expected when I woke up this morning. Any updates on our chupacabra? I found bits of the victim's entrails in the chupacabra's stomach. That's disgusting. Anything else we should know? I found hair caught in its fur that wasn't chupacabra hair. It was blonde and belonged to your vampire friend Bathsheba. Bathsheba? Well, she did say chupacabras were cute vampire doggies. Maybe they were closer friends than she'd admitted. We better talk to Bathsheba again. Bathsheba, Chupi is dead. Now it's time you told us everything. Did you unleash that thing on Paul Etter? What? No, you sillies. I saw Chupi was going to attack that nice man this morning, and I tried to stop it. You tried to stop the murder? Yes. I had some sweetie treaty campy beady cajeta on my hands, and I thought that the Chupi doggy would like to lick it off, and we'd become friends. But then the man came and Chupi made a scary face and jumped out of my arms. The sunlight was getting burny on my skin, so I had to go hide. If Chupi killed that man, I didn't see it. Bathsheba, you either really love animals or are trying to fool us. Matthew will find out. Matthew, I can't believe we faced down a chupacabra and lived to tell about it. But we still don't know who sicked the creature on Paul. His sister Susan was angry that he refused to help her farm, and Carmen hated his portrait of her. And of course, Bathsheba was friendly with the chupacabra, which raises some red flags. You're right. We found evidence from the killer at the restaurant. We should check there again. Got it. And I got the first star. Matthew, this torn fabric has paint on it. Maybe it was the victim's. Let's put it back together and find out. You're right. The killer could have hidden something in this box of decorations. Let's look. We may be safe from the chupacabra now, but the killer is still out there. Let's track him down.
Got it. And I got the first star. Matthew, this torn fabric has paint on it. Maybe it was the victim's. Let's put it back together and find out. You're right. The killer could have hidden something in this box of decorations. Let's look. We may be safe from the chupacabra now, but the killer is still out there. Let's track him down.
Moment, folks. All right. Cool, Matthew. You got the fabric pieced together. This looks like a smock the victim used for painting. Let's get it to the lab. Whoa, Matthew, there was a collar and chain in this box of restaurant decorations. And look, the name on the collar is Chupi. Let's see what Priya can tell us about it. Excuse me. "15 hours. I'll see you guys when these two are done." Okay, we are back. Let's get the results of the smock. Matthew, Paul Etter's smock tells the stories of many paintings and one murder. Really? That's interesting. He wasn't wearing the smock when he was killed. True, but I found traces of chupacabra drool on the fabric. And anyone who's trained a dog knows you have to familiarize the dog with the target's scent so it knows who to hunt. You mean the killer used the victim's smock to familiarize the chupacabra with Paul's scent? That's genius. And stuck in the drool, I found fibers from clothes with stripes. Rio Grande pattern as is popular around here. Which proves your killer wears Rio Grande stripes. I think the killer showed their stripes when they committed this murder. Priya, I made bad jokes about you being a werewolf, but I hope you didn't think this collar was one of those jokes. Actually, I didn't even consider that until just now. And no, this is clearly the collar of your killer's domesticated chupacabra. What did you find out from looking at it? I found flecks of turquoise embedded in the metal buckle. I'm certain the bits came from turquoise jewelry. Which means your killer wears turquoise jewelry. Matthew, keep your eye out for a killer with turquoise. Matthew, we've got enough evidence to arrest Paul Etter's killer. Let's go. And no, it's not Malcolm Drummond. It's not Bathsheba either. No. Oh. Wait a minute. No. Just as I suspected, it was the sister. Susan Etter, we know you sicked your deranged pet on your brother Paul. What deranged pet? Your pet chupacabra. You had a collar and leash for it. And chew toys. You tried to hide them in the restaurant, but Matthew found them. What were you thinking, keeping a pet chupacabra? The thing nearly killed us, you know. I hoped it might. You're sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. What I told you about my farm failing is true. All the other goat farms are outselling me. If that's continued, I'd go bankrupt. But one night a few months ago, I heard a strange sound. I went out to see what it was, and there was this little creature digging up my garden. I thought it was just a sick puppy, so I took it in and cared for it. But once it got bigger, I realized it was a chupacabra, and I had an idea. I kept it a secret and successfully taught it some commands in Spanish. That was when I decided to release my little secret weapon on other farms to kill off the competition. You're the one responsible for the chupacabra attacks in Taos Pueblo? Yes, but meanwhile my farm was still struggling, so I asked Paul for money. But he said no. My own brother refused to help me. My only remaining option was to kill Paul in a way that looked accidental and receive the payout from his life insurance. So I let Chuppy loose, and Paul got what was coming. And if you hadn't nosed into my business, I'd be signing the papers for that insurance money right now. I can't believe you raised a chupacabra like a pet and then sicked it on your brother when he didn't do what you wanted. So I killed my brother. It's not like you can do anything about it. You're not the police. That's true. But now the police will have the confession they need to put you away for fratricide. What? But you can't. We're turning you in for murder. Well, Matthew, we don't know what the police will make of this murder by chupacabra incident, but Susan's confession and fate are in their hands now. I gotta hand it to you, Matthew. That was a pretty slick trick you pulled, recording Susan Etter's confession. You too, Luke. Great job. Thank you, sir. We were just making sure Susan got her date with Destiny. Did you say date? I'm so nervous and excited for my second date with Justine. I thought I was getting a cold, but Ben made me some immune boost tea, and I feel great. Well, aside from the butterflies in my stomach, I still don't know what to wear. Gotta go. Nice to see you too, Gwen. Anyway, while she's working out her wardrobe, we still have work to do. Let's get to the bottom of the malicious entity killing animals in the Southwest. And we'll see you guys for Something Wicked This Way Comes to 5. And we're back. Let's start the additional investigation. Matthew, we hadn't come to Taos Pueblo to face off with the murderous chupacabra, but we survived, caught the human killer, and handed her to the police. Her confession will get her convicted, even if the police never get the full truth about the murder weapon. Now that that's finished, we've got to get back to solving the mystery of this malicious force the late Dr. Aculus warned the chief about. Whatever it is, it's been lurking in the Southwest for 5 years, drawing the life out of animals and leaving them smelling of sulfur. Yo, I got a crazy idea, Matthew. That vampire lady Bathsheba tries to be friends with all the creepy crawlies she meets. Thinks she knows something about this evil entity? It's definitely worth a shot, Felix. We'll see if Bathsheba knows. Matthew, have you seen my purse? Oh, it's right here. Sorry, I'm too excited about my date with Justine. Oh, my phone's ringing. Hello, this is Gwen. Gwen, it's Justine. You've got to help me. I've been arrested. Arrested? For what? For murder. But I didn't do it, I swear. Gwen, please help me. This is my one phone call. I need... Justine! Justine? Where'd you go? Matthew, we have to call her back. Matthew, I know you got to call Justine back right now, so let me know when you're ready to talk to Bathsheba about the unknown evil, and we'll go. Justine, are you there? Tell us how you got arrested. I don't understand it. I was at the restaurant waiting for you and these FBI agents came up to me and arrested me. They claim I murdered my sister. What? That's crazy. I would never do anything to hurt my sister. I loved her. Gwen, you're FBI too. You've got to get me out of here. Okay, stay calm. We'll go to the restaurant where you got arrested and try to figure out what's going on. Please, Gwen, I have to get out of here. Matthew, I'll pay for the cab. Let's get to the restaurant fast. Got it. Matthew, I'm so worried for Justine. I'm positive she didn't murder her sister. Justine said the FBI arrested her here, but the agents are gone. But it looks like one of them forgot their laptop. Quick, Matthew, this is our only chance to find out why Justine is accused of murder. Let's crack the passcode. Okay. Great, you got the FBI laptop unlocked. And it says, Welcome Agent Matheson. Why is that name familiar? Oh right, we met Matheson in Nevada, and he was super suspicious of us. Good thing he's not here to catch us with this laptop. Let's get the laptop to Hope and see what she can learn about Justine's arrest before Matheson even realizes it's gone. Bathsheba, let's talk about animals. You like animals, don't you? I love them. Animals are our furry friends, or sometimes slimy or spiky. Yay, animals. Okay, you'd be sad if animals died, right? If some fluffy white sheep dropped dead for no reason. Oh, the sheepies. It's sad, yeah. But Daddy talked to me about this before and said it was bad, and that I shouldn't tell anyone. Secret keep it, little Miss Dead Sheepit. The only other person who knows is this old lady. Her name is Horsey something, I think. I gotta go, Matthew. It's tea time, meat time, crackers and some brie time. Later, crocodiles. So from Bathsheba's nonsense, it sounds like Dr. Aculus mentioned his concern about the mysterious force. And she said something about an old lady named Horsey something, which sounds familiar. You're right, Matthew. We met someone named Melissa Roanhorse in Arizona. Could she have a relative living here? Looks like her grandmother's a high-ranking Navajo elder. Crazy Pants Bathsheba gave us a promising lead. My abuela always told me it's polite to bring a gift before you request help from a tribal elder. Matthew, we could gather some sumac berries and make a pie to offer Mrs. Roanhorse. I saw some sumac around Taos Pueblo. Let's go get some. well with 10,000 coins, so double-edged sword. These sumac berries will be perfect for the pie for Mrs. Roanhorse. Let's pick some. Got it. Perfect. Let's get these sumac berries you picked to Ben. Then he'll make the pie we'll give to Mrs. Roanhorse in exchange for her knowledge. I'll see you guys when both of these are finished. So for now, this is Matthew. I'll see you soon. Okay, we have returned. Let's get the results of the unlocked laptop. Hope, is there any info about Justine's arrest on Madison's laptop? Gwen, it genuinely pains me to say it, but Justine definitely murdered her sister. She chopped her head off. The axe was found next to the body, and there was a tarot card slipped into the sister's pocket. What? No, it can't be. It's not possible. What evidence do they have that it was Justine? Everything. Fingerprints on the axe, security footage at the scene, DNA. It was her. I'm sorry, Gwen. I don't know what to say. Justine couldn't have killed her sister. There's no way. And did you say there was a tarot card? Matthew, do you remember Rainy Day's murder? Jesse Adams left a tarot card on the scene. What if Jesse committed this murder too? Then we must tell the FBI they caught the wrong killer. Agent Madison doesn't like us, but we have to speak to him. Matthew, you again? Didn't I tell you in Nevada to mind your own business? What are you doing with my laptop? We were returning it to you. By the way, we know Justine Bankston was arrested for murder. All due respect, but you've got the wrong person. See, we read about Jesse Adams in the paper, and he also left a tarot card on his victim's body. It's clear Adams is the killer, not our friend. Who do you think you are, telling me I've arrested the wrong person? I don't even know why I bothered to explain this, but Bankston did it. It's cut and dried. Besides, Adams was locked up in Saguaro Pen at the time of the murder. Give me my laptop now and get out of my sight before I arrest you too for being thick, meddling idiots. Wow, Matthew, that didn't go well. We need a moment. Let's get some food and sort this out. I'm still in shock, Matthew. Whatever the FBI says, I don't believe Justine is a killer. But if Jesse Adams didn't commit this second murder, what does the tarot card mean? Sounds like talking to Jesse is our only hope for answers, Matthew. Madison let slip that he's in Saguaro Penitentiary. How can we go see him? I know. Hope is a pro at forgeries. She can forge us entry clearance documents to visit Adams in prison. But first we need to get some ink. Let's go see if there's some art at the artist's studio in Taos Pueblo. There we go. There we are. Matthew, there's got to be some ink in this can of brushes that we can use to forge legal certification. Let's dig in. Got it. 3 only. Awesome! This ink you found in the brush pot is exactly what we need to make fake entry passes to visit Jessie in prison. Let's get this ink to Hope so she can get to work. Nine hours. Alright, now the berries. Matthew, these are the juiciest sumac berries I've ever seen. You didn't eat all of them, did you? We need a pie to get to Hasea Roanhorse in exchange for information on the mysterious force killing animals. Don't sweat, Luke. I made the pie. It's cooling now. I'll have to get more of these berries so I can make pies for the team, too. That's a great idea, Ben. For now, Matthew, let's get this pie to Mrs. Roanhorse and see what she can tell us. Mrs. Roanhorse, we really need your help. I figured, from this delicious pie you brought me, what can I do for you? Matthew and I have a special interest in the occult. We travel the country learning about the mysterious forces beyond our world. But recently we heard about an unnamed evil hurting nature. We sought the wisdom of others before you, but found only rumors and fearful whisperings. What is this evil force you speak of? What are the signs? Strange animal deaths? Lifeless bodies of sheep with sulfur on them. Farmers can't explain it, but they say it's been common around here for 5 years now. Young man, your words upset me greatly. I recognize this dark force of which you speak. My ancestors knew it from when the world was young. It is an ancient evil enemy of all nature. It's been creeping into our world for some time and grows stronger by the day. The dark force is demons, the evil lords of the netherworld. What do you mean, demons? Our world is home to many creatures. Not all are human, and some are even dangerous, but demons are a menace to all living things. They are intruders in our world and will threaten us all if they gain ground. But this is all I can tell you. Please take this amulet as a symbol of my goodwill. I'll see you guys when the ink has run its course. See y'all soon. Alright, time to get the results of the special ink. Let's see what Hope has to say. So, Gwen, are you still holding out hope for your sweetheart's innocence? I wouldn't be in this line of work if I didn't believe the impossible was possible. I know she's innocent. I know I'm usually firm in my logic, Gwen, but I do hope you're right about Justine. To help you find out, I used the ink to make some convincing entry passes. Hope, thank you. It means a lot that you'd help me like this. We're sure to get past security at Saguaro Penitentiary now. Matthew, let's get into some important looking suits and head out to talk to Jessie Adams. Jessie Adams, we need to ask you some more questions about your murder of Rainy Day. I already said I didn't kill anyone. But Matthew saw you confess to her murder. That's what everyone says, but I don't remember anything. Not the murder, the investigation, or my confession. Last I remember, I was at a copper conference in Las Cruces, New Mexico. The next thing I know, I woke up in this jail cell, and everyone said I murdered my friend, Rainy Day. But you told us yourself you stabbed her with a crystal and left a tarot card pinned to her chest. I can't explain it, but I'm innocent. I didn't murder anyone. Something horrible's happened. I blacked out in Las Cruces and I don't remember anything. You gotta believe me. Well, Matthew, we finally got some answers about that evil force. Haseo Roanhorse said the force is a demon. I never knew demons were a thing, let alone dealt with them. Even amongst hunters, demons are the stuff of legend. I've never dealt with them either, and I like to keep it that way. Dr. Oculus was a tough cookie, but even he was worried about this thing, and Mrs. Roanhorse said it's awakening and gaining strength. If it's still growing, we've got to keep our eyes out for worse things than dead sheep. Matthew, speaking of worse things, I'm still reeling from Justine's arrest for the murder of her sister. And after talking to Jesse Adams, I only have more questions. Jesse doesn't remember his murder. He doesn't even remember us interrogating and arresting him, nor his confession. He says he blacked out days before it happened and woke up in jail, convicted of murder. And Justine denies the murder, despite all the evidence to the contrary. Could it be that she doesn't remember, like Jesse? You think you'd remember cutting off someone's head? Wait, remember Rick Lewis? He committed a murder while possessed by a ghost, and he had no memory of it. Could the same have happened to Jesse and Justine? Ghost possession, that might explain the amnesia. Jesse said he last remembers being in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Could he have been possessed there? Going there is the only way to save Justine. Let's head to Las Cruces and find out what really happened to Jesse and Justine. Pretty sure the new case is going to open tomorrow. Or later tonight where I am. Oh, it's already open. Wow, that's a surprise. So I'll see you guys when the next case is done. Or next case is, well, since it's already open. After I see my stickers. The ones I got. Okay, I'll see you guys in just a little while. So for now, I'll see you soon.